Good morning. You can see, I'll show you out the window. The sun is shining in Indiana today. It's really pretty. Chilly this morning, but very, very pretty. Today is November 4th. I've got to think about my dates. Today is Monday, November 4th. As you know, November is Diabetic Awareness Month. And so I will come on here every single day the month of November, share something about type 1, either something personal or something factual, maybe a little bit of both. We'll see how they go. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about is the cost of type 1. I will tell you that when I started writing the cost of type 1, my thoughts went to, gosh, there are lots of costs of type 1. There's an emotional cost, there's an energetic cost, there's a spiritual cost, but there's also a financial cost. So today I'm going to talk about the financial side of the cost of type 1. I will tell you that a lot of families that I know struggle financially because of type 1. It is a very expensive disease. There are multiple facets that go to it. It's not just a medication. Insulin is only one factor in what Molly needs in a month. So I'll go through a quick rundown of what Molly uses, and I'm sure I'll forget something. But so we have a prescription for her insulin pumps. We have a prescription for her insulin, or for her continuous glucose monitor. We have a prescription for insulin. We have a prescription for her long-acting insulin. We have a prescription for glucagon. We have a prescription for test strips, which are horribly expensive. Test strips average $1 a test strip. So those little test strips. Molly checks her blood sugar anywhere between 6 and 8 times a day, just depending on what her blood sugar is doing. She wears a continuous glucose monitor, but because of puberty and her age and activity, it's not often correct. So she still checks the same amount that she did before. She just uses that CGM as kind of a guideline of when she needs to test. So we have the test strips that are a cost. We have, and then you have your apple juice and your quick sugars and your starchy carbs and all those things that add up. So I will share with you personally, everybody's insurance is a little bit different, right? Everybody's insurance plan is a little bit different. I can tell you the insurance plan that my family has, and we're very grateful to have insurance. Between our deductibles and our premium that get pulled out of every pay period from Kyle's paycheck, we are personally out of pocket a minimum of $13,868 before insurance kicks in any at all. So we have an HSA, we pay 100% up to a certain dollar amount, and then the insurance kicks in. So luckily, we use a lot of insurance because of what Molly needs. So about halfway through the year, the insurance kicks in and starts paying. Total annually out of pocket, we estimate, again, some of those things because they're not a medicine like apple juice and those kind of things, but they're a medical need for Molly. We estimate we're somewhere between $17,000 and $18,000 out of pocket a year. So things that the insurance either doesn't cover or things that we have to pay before our insurance kicks in. So $17,000 to $18,000. So on February 22nd, 2015, we didn't have that expense. And on February 23rd, 2015, all of a sudden, we had to figure out how to budget between $17,000 and $18,000 into our income expenditures that weren't there before. So again, Kyle and I are grateful. We both have very good jobs. We've been able to do that for Molly and provide everything she needs. I have lots of friends who cannot and make the decision to stay on insulin needle injections because they can't afford an insulin pump for their child. An insulin pump is something that insurance considers kind of necessary, kind of not. It's a kind of one of those things that kind of they can decide whether they want to approve it or not. Even though they've proven that with an insulin pump, you get much better control of your blood sugar. It's much better for the patient. There's a steady control that comes with it. The insurance companies can still choose not to provide that for a child. So it's a very expensive disease. It's a very frustrating disease. I will tell you as a parent, my brain goes to the future and I think about Molly when she's freshly out of college and applying for jobs and what that's going to look like for her. Insurance is going to be a big factor for her, and coming all of a sudden graduating and having, almost $20,000 in medical expenses that are going to come your way every year. It's a huge burden to think about. A lot can change between now and then, so I try not to borrow trouble, but it's certainly something that is on our mind a lot and often. When the calendar clicks over in 2020 and our deductibles restart, we're 100% out of pocket. until we hit about $7,000. So it's a huge expense. So that's why I share, that's why I advocate. One of the biggest expenses, honestly, which is ridiculous, is insulin. Insulin is right now, it's either the number 6 or number 7, either the 6th or the 7th most expensive liquid in the world, including things like Chanel number 5 perfume is up there, rattlesnake venom. I mean, those are the kind of liquids that are up there with insulin. Insulin's either number 6 or number 7. And I'll share more about how insulin was created and the story behind it. But, you know, I have friends that struggle to provide insulin for their kids. So one of the reasons I come on here and share is because insulin is a pretty hot topic right now. You're going to see legislation come through in the next couple of years in lots of states. Lots of states are already passing a maximum amount that insulin can be billed. And so Indiana is not one of those states yet, but you're going to see things like that. So I share because when things like that come to the forefront, I hope it catches your attention, and I hope you rally with us and support us in those kind of efforts. But y'all, it's an expensive disease, and we're grateful that we can provide medically for Molly, but I know it is a burden to a lot of people. It certainly has been a change for us to have that kind of an expenditure all of a sudden come out. And there's an emotional side of that expenditure too, because it's not an expense we want to have. Now, not that you ever want to have expenses, but when you think about life and you think about, you know, the expense of your home, that's a positive for your family. And you think about, and the expense of a medication or of a chronic illness, even though, yes, it's a blessing to be able to provide that, there's a cost emotionally that goes with that because you're wishing you didn't ever have to have that kind of expenditure. So that's why I come on here and share. That's why I come on every day the month of November. So it's Diabetic Awareness Month. You will see me again tomorrow. Thanks for following along. Thanks for loving my girl enough to learn beside us and fight with us. So as always, I ask you to fight with us until type 1 is type none, and hopefully that day will come soon. So thanks. Have a great day. It's Monday. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.